told you that 95% of all preppers make this big mistake, you would say, well, now what would that mistake be? I'm not the one that's saying that. It's actually a study in the books of prepping. They talk about this #1 prepping mistake. Keep watching, because I'm going to show you something that I am preparing for, and I don't hear hardly anybody talk about this. So what is 95% of the preppers go through this or have this big mistake? And that is called, are you ready? Appetite fatigue. What in the world is appetite fatigue? Well, I've been doing a lot of studying on it, and a lot of preppers and a lot of us go through it. In other words, when you prep your storage, what are you prepping? Beans and rice and rice and beans. Every single person, there's thousands of videos on beans and rice and beans. Well, appetite fatigue means you're all excited. Let's just say we would have to eat our preps, and we're so excited for our preps, and you know, beans and rice, it's okay. We add some seasonings to it and we eat it week 1, week 2. By the time you're at week 3, your appetite is fatigued. You're tired. You're tired of eating the same thing. My husband and I went through this because we were really eating a lot of the rice and beans, and we ate it for about 2 weeks every day. Different ways of making it, but it was rice and beans every day. And to be honest with you, it was depressing, like literally depressing. Now, if times were bad, things would be maybe a little bit of a different outlook on things, but still you get this fatigue. Well, today I'm going to show you video clips of what I'm doing. I am canning lard. What does that mean, canning lard? Basically, you're going to take your lard. You can buy it in the store. You can have your own lard, which I showed running my own lard, and you're going to melt it, and then you are going to open kettle can it. That means you're just going to put the really hot oil into the jars, so that lard, and then it self-seals. You add a really hot lid and it self-seals, and it's on your shelf for many years. Lard. Oh boy, I'm getting in the hot seat now, because we're going to start talking about some things that people have a lot of opinions on. So with eating healthier, you telling me you're going to eat lard? Well, you know, there are healthy fats and there are unhealthy fats. You know, back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, there was a lot of talk about how the wonderful butter spread margarine came into effect. Then in the 50s, and everybody was slathering that margarine all over everything, and it was the world's best food. And then after a while, we started hearing that, well, margarine's not so good for us. Butter is better. You know, you go through all of these changes in the food and the dietary system, but if grandma knew about it, when I talk about grandma, I mean like in the 1800s, like great grandma, if she knew about it, that's what I'm eating. Lard. Now, this is a store-bought lard, and there probably is a little bit of preservatives in it. I don't think it's a whole lot, but you could get really good organic lard. Now, you're going to be paying a high price for it. So what is the lard going to do? Well, the lard is going to add a little bit of fat, like when I want to cook. So I'm not cooking with the lard, not so to speak. So if I need to line and grease my pans, I will use a little of that lard. If I need to make a Johnny cake, which would be a corn muffin, a corn cake, I will add a little bit of that lard. So that lard is going to replace shortening and replace oil. Now, olive oil is amazing, and it stores really well if it's not opened, but olive oil has a strong taste. So you may not necessarily want to have olive oil in a cake or something like that, or an olive oil into a coffee cake. Now, we're not eating as much of that kind of stuff, but still I want to have it in my long-term prepping storage. I want to have all kinds of foods that store a long time, so we don't have that appetite fatigue. In other words, of eating the same thing over and over again. Spices and seasonings can really make a huge difference. That's why I talk about that and having salt. While we don't have a lot of salt in our diet, Salt is a mineral. I would not suggest you get the cheap iodized salt, but you could get some good Himalayan salt. You can get some good Redmond salt that has minerals in it. All of these things. You can have your cake and eat it too. And let me explain this. You can have a little bit of cake. You can't eat the whole cake, but if you substitute maybe some applesauce from the oil in your cake, or you substitute different things in your cake is healthier and you can have a little bit of that. And I just realized that Whole Foods is not restrictive. It's actually a wide door open for all of the things that you can do and all of the things that you can eat. So let's go ahead and let's preserve some lard so we don't have any of that appetite fatigue.
The chemicals that take us higher. The night's young, it has just begun, as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild.